Okay, volume of prisms and cylinders. Now remember, volume is how much can fit inside. So your materials you're going to need is your spiral notebook and calculator. Any old calculator will do just fine. And prior knowledge and vocabulary, things you need to know. Volume is the space inside a shape, not around the outside. We're not dealing with nets anymore. The nets went around to create the outside of the shape. We're talking about volume is inside the shape. And these are the formulas you're going to have to know. If you don't have them written down, go ahead and do that. Pause the video. Make sure you have all the things you need and all the vocabulary. And then come on back and we'll continue on. All right. All right, we have three shapes that we need to find the volume of. We're still working with rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, and cylinders. Now, no matter which shape we're talking about, when we deal with volume, we're talking about what fits inside the shape. What fits inside? Well, as you can see here, I have some cubes on the bottom. I've got a layer of cubes. And if you can see that, I've got 9, 3 by 3. I have 9 cubes in the bottom layer. I could create another layer, and another layer, and another layer. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. If each layer has 9 cubes, and I can do 4 layers, how many cubes would fit into this rectangular prism? 36. How did you get that? Did you do 9 times 4? Awesome. That's exactly what you would do in terms of finding the area, even if you don't have the little tiny cubes. How many fit at the bottom? 3 by 3, the area of the bottom, and then you multiply that by how tall the shape is. Now I have a cylinder here, and I can't put those nice little cubes inside this shape because it wouldn't fit exactly right. But we can still find the volume of a cylinder and a triangular prism using the same method. So here's a rectangular prism. The volume is always going to be the area of the bottom multiplied by the height. It does not matter what shape you're using, that is the same formula every time. Now, in terms of a rectangular prism, you'd find the area of the bottom, which is length times width. It's a rectangle, and then times that by the height. For a triangular prism, you're finding the area of the bottom. In this case, it's a triangle, so you would do 1/2 base times height, and then multiply that by how tall that triangular prism is, or how long that triangular prism is. That's your height. So if you look here at this example, we've got base times height times the biggest problem is a lot of people try to do this height of the triangle twice. They try to do 6 times 4 and then times 4 again. When we say height of the rectangular prism, is how long it is, how far it's being stretched out. So you're doing the base times the height to get the bottom, and then how tall is that rectangular prism. In this case, it's 12 centimeters. So you can see volume is always cubed, no matter what the units and no matter what the shape. You're trying to figure out how many cubes can fit inside that prism. Take a look at a cylinder. The same theory applies. The area of the base times how tall that prism is. In this case, it's a cylinder, but you're going to find the area of the base, circle, and notice I'm using pi times r times r. I've noticed several people in class doing r times 2, and I don't want to confuse you by putting that squared. So I'm going to go ahead and do pi times r times r. That's the area of the base. And then how tall is it? Height. So in this case, I've got the radius is 3.5. Can you see that? 3.5. And how tall is it? 11.5. So I'm going to do pi times the radius again, and then times that by the height. Volume is pretty straightforward. Hopefully you'll be able to be very successful in the classroom as long as you can remember you're doing the area of the base and timesing it by the height. See you soon.